Thank you, Layla. And with us this morning, Ahmed Sherry, Sheikh Ahmed Sherry. And he's a concerned father about an issue that is really important in our community, in most communities today. We have been for some times looking for alternatives on how, as fathers, that is, on ways in where we have more control on what our children are learning and the environment of learning. And if there is one benefit of the Corona time, ironically, is that it forced us to explore new ways, and it forced school districts to come up with different ways to educate our children. And so far, for example, I can use myself as an example. My daughter has been in an online learning for the third year now, and she's very successful, and I'm pleased with the results. And as you well know, in many areas, you don't even have to live in the district to be on online district. What are some of your concerns as a father and as an individual of the community?
Thank you. Some of my concerns consist of, no, there are various concerns. One of them is the subject of bullying, all right? The amount of bullying that takes place in schools, the large number of students that are present. And it's unrealistic to have this expectation that every individual case can be looked after, can be given the attention and care that is required. That would be something that's ideal, but I don't think that's something that is realistic. And it's not realistic of us to have the expectation of the school. And there have been many cases that are unfortunate. Now, people like to talk percentages, 10%, 15%, 20% when it comes to suicide, when it comes to self-harm as a result of bullying. But even 15% is too much, right? As
Exactly.
a father and as a parent, I'm not willing to risk even that percentage that my child or anybody else's child could potentially be of that percentage. So that's a big problem, especially when it comes to transportation as well. Whenever I speak to other parents, their main concern is what's going on the bus. Now they say we want to make it easier, we want to put Wi-Fi, we want to put cameras, but the only thing that's taking place, it seems, is we're getting the abuse on record, but it's not ending. And
Yeah.
so that's one main concern amongst other things, like certain, um, uh, ideas and certain concepts that are being pushed and being taught. For example, that maybe as a parent, I'd like to have more say in what goes on with my child's education. I'd like to have more oversight. And there are a lot of parents
Yeah.
like myself who feel slowly we're losing the ability to have a say in what our children are able to. We're losing the ability to parent. And this is our main function, our main role, is just to protect that child. And so as soon as we feel that being slowly taken away, and I don't have that oversight, and I don't have that trust either, because that trust, to be honest, has been harmed. There have been way too many cases for that. I remember back when I was in school, whether it was elementary, middle school, or high school, or any of my siblings, and even my mother recalls during her time, that trust was there. My grandmother, when she came here, she did not even she did not speak the language, and
Sure.
she had many children, and she did not have a concern about sending her children to that school. She knew that they were safe, they were protected, and uh, that her opinion and her role and her beliefs were not at risk, and she was respected as a guardian and as a parent. So we feel that that respect and that trust has been damaged, and as a result, we'd like to have oversight on to what our kids are able to learn and what they're studying, and be actively involved in their education and in their lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to remind listeners that all districts right now have an online program, and you need to evaluate that program. And again, you don't have to live in the district to enroll your children in those online programs. Make no mistake, it's not for everybody. You need to supervise. You need to, provide some tutoring and some oversight. So it's not for everybody, but it is an option. For example, in Dearborn, the deadline to enroll in the online program is Friday. and you need to evaluate that. Dearborn District has done a really phenomenal job in putting this program together. Does your daughter go to the Dearborn District?
No, my daughter doesn't go to the Dearborn district at the moment. Um, she is in a school within Dearborn Heights.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of input you would like to see the districts do? I mean, do you feel like there needs to be more, opportunity for you as a father to be involved in how the program is going, or the materials, or what are the involvement
Definitely.
that you think you should have?
I feel that the parents' opinions should be taken into account. There should be respect for cultural beliefs. I feel that the school has a primary role. When I, as a parent, enroll my child in that school, I'm expecting them to get an equal opportunity, a chance to gain an education in terms of how they can understand the rest of the world, how they can pursue an education to the extent where they're able to pursue and they're capable enough to pursue a higher education in whatever field that they choose and they feel that they have potential in. Now, when somehow the role of a school becomes to be my child's uh, uh, teacher with regards to sexual morality, for example, that's
Sure.
when I say that's not why I put my child in school. I put my
Yeah,
child so they can learn about the world, the universe. You say, well, they're part of it. Yeah, but that's where I come in as
exactly.
their parent. I say, this is something that I want to endow my child. The other parents might have different views on sexual. That's great. They can teach their children what they want to teach their children. But I don't feel that's the function of the school. That's not why I sent my child there, so that they can go and be, pushed in any direction. I want, or they're saying, well, we're offering them all the alternatives. There are many in the country that don't feel like alternatives are being offered or that they're being given a choice. And some feel that it defeats the purpose of why we send them in the first place. But I'd just like to add one thing to what you said with regards to that it's not for everybody. And that's correct. Oversight is very important. I feel the parent has to be involved. More than ever now, it's necessary that we be involved. We know what they're being taught, we know what they're being told, and we know what our children are consuming um, in general, not just with regards to their schooling, but
Sure, sure.
in total. But especially with online schooling, if studies have shown anything and experience has shown anything, that it might be difficult for parents who if both parents work, for example, they don't have oversight. If there is a subject that they might not be as strong in, they might require to bring in some tutors. If it's done on a community level, parents can get together. There are a lot of groups, there are a lot of forums. The
Exactly.
parents within the schools all know each other. If they all join these programs together, they're able to help one another. And they don't suffer in terms of their social life. They don't suffer because there's a lot of opportunities outside the school. In fact, they have more time to do the things that they like because they get their job and they get their work done, and they have more time to spend with their family, create deeper bonds, create better relationships, explore the world around them. They don't feel like it's they have more control over their life, and that gives them a sense of responsibility too. But it takes us also being part of that journey with them.
Exactly.
Because at the
Exactly.
end of the day, you can't just hand the child their entire, future and
Yeah,
say, go build a future for yourself. We have
exactly.
to be part of that process as that guide and as that parent and play that role.
Absolutely. I mean, I did recommend to the Dearborn District, which they do have periodical, like every month or every 2 months, get together with the
Yeah,
students for games,
yeah,
for field trips, I suggested that they do more of that. Doesn't
yeah,
have to be educational, just so the children can interact. These are the
yeah,
children that see each other. The other thing is that I think they should offer tutoring to the parents, not necessarily tutoring, but guidance to the parents, or
sure.
seminars, how they can deal with their children if they are stuck on a certain issue, or how they can interact with them, and
Yeah,
what they can provide them to make them successful.
yeah,
I've been very happy and satisfied with the progress of my daughter being in an online. It's much better than homeschooling. In homeschooling, they're
yeah,
on their own, but
yeah,
online she's right in front of the computer, and if she misses any part of it. They call me right away. They say, you know,
Mhm.
your child wasn't there. What's going on? So she
Yeah.
knows that she needs to be on, and we have to do our job. So
Yeah.
you know, I think working all together on this provides a really great alternative for those who
Yeah.
really need that alternative.
Yeah.
Any final words, Sheikh?
I want to thank you for having me, of course, and thank you for highlighting, the subject. I think that, having a platform like this gives voices and gives a voice to many people who want to voice their concerns, and gives answers to a lot of people who are wondering, what can we do? What are our options? As you mentioned, in Dearborn, at least the deadline is very soon.
Yeah,
Explore these options.
yeah,
There's always the chance to go back.
yeah.
If you chose virtual school or doing it online, it doesn't mean you're stuck. Your child can't go back to school.
Exactly,
You
exactly.
can be with them through that experience. Our children are the best investment that we can make, and
Absolutely.
we have to invest in their futures. So,
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing it to our attention. This is a very important issue. Again, the deadline in Dearborn is Friday. You know, contact the school if you're interested, learn more about it. They have been very responsive, and I'm sure other districts as well. I hear that Ann Arbor has a really wonderful program as well. Again, thank you. We appreciate you being
okay.
with us. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you, Layla.